objectivity that is of interest, that is educational, that informs us beyond any objective viewpoint of that experience or thing. Because I have a theory that true objectivity can't exist unless it is the sum of all subjectivity. And so that's why I've got subjectiveobjective.com here, and you can all go on your devices and join. So the theory, subjective-objective, is that the sum of honest subjective expression among individuals creates the most subjective picture by which to understand and actualize the objective truth of our society, informing the question, how shall we live? When I first started talking to Esther about this concept of archiving the now and research as performance and performance as research, I took note of two ways in which performance art mirrors my work: building digital information landscapes and facilitating connection to new concepts through journalism. First, both actions invite the audience to engage with something new. Second, we both deliver something that is subjectively experienced by an audience. For performers, understanding an audience's subjective reaction to work informs and sometimes deepens practice, sending it in new directions. And that's just the same as information distribution. The audience of mainstream news sources, as artistic audiences, are not encouraged to participate in any sort of meaningful way outside of the commercial structure, or within the commercial structure. Outside of the commercial structure is what I'm trying to build here. So considering how your information gets mediated every day, whether it's through the subjectivity of a newspaper and the people who advertise in that newspaper, or it's the sort of informed subjectivity you have as a member of an audience participating in a piece of work, or even just sort of accepting that knowledge and experience as it's happening. So the informed subjectivity is really what I'm talking about, not just I'm ignorant and I'm going to spew whatever ignorant things I subjectively feel right now. That's a different thing. So in essence, if you put together all of the experience of all the individual experiences of an audience, each member and what they think and what they feel and how they relate to that thing, then we would grow a deeper understanding of how it's received in the long run. Do you have any questions so far? Am I being clear? Hesitate. So unmediated subjective expression in a horizontal dialogue was sort of the crowning achievement of the Occupy movement, I think. If anything, that is the crowning achievement. And creating the foundational basis of that sort of equal dialogue for dissent was a new experience for everybody. And that subjectivity was really, we saw the mainstream media cringe at it at every moment, right? But that subjectivity was informing the reality of the situation. We were experiencing an economic downturn. A lot of people didn't have jobs, a lot of people couldn't feed their families, they were losing their houses, and it's hard to sort of objectively report that about anybody without removing a human quality to it. And so the basis of this is that if we all start subjectively informing our fellow people, we might collectively learn how we shall live and how we shall best live. And by subjectively contributing to the group, we begin to understand what needs to be addressed about our society. So if subjectively somebody is feeling something negative, it's going to be because of a root cause, and you can start to talk about what that is, because they've subjectively informed the group about it. So an example that I like to use of how objectivity isn't telling the full story is in light of the Trayvon Martin situation, the verdict that George Zimmerman got, because in his trial, which supposedly in our court room were objective, we created an objective situation for a jury of his peers to judge the situation. But what happened was the removal of anything subjective, which was race, which is the key aspect of what happened in why Trayvon Martin isn't with us anymore. And by eliminating the subjectivity of the racial experience that he had in that moment, the jury was able to find him not guilty of any crime. And what I would argue is that if there was a more subjective viewpoint, more subjective, informed subjective perspectives included in his trial, then we might have gotten a different verdict. It all relates to Brooklyn the Borough because what I aim to do is build a community there that we can all start to create a subjective dialogue and connect with each other on not only the events and the work that we do, but the ideas, the concepts, the everyday lives that we live. And so I invite you all to take a card, check out this site, and check out Brooklyn the Borough, and you're all welcome to contribute. Shoot me an email. I like providing free digital space to artists in Brooklyn. It's generally what I do. So please come and talk to me and ask any questions you may have.